Alright, so today has been a pretty nice day of trading already. I took two scalp trades, just basically trading this range that we were in, and I took one more long trade that I'll kind of go over first, and then afterwards I want to use the bar replay tool to go back and basically see what I was looking at in real time when I took this short and this long. So the main reason for taking the first long, which, let's see, I entered that a little bit after I woke up, so right there, stop loss all the way down below here, and actually I wasn't even using a stop loss with this. This was what I like to call more of a crypto face long, and by that I mean I was basically just trading the money flow. I was looking at the money flow on Market Cipher, and since it was trending up, since momentum was coming up, I was looking for, somewhat of a low risk long. Now, I wasn't using a stop loss, but if price came down here, I did have alerts set down below this low, and basically my plan was to make a decision if we took out this low, which, I mean, I wasn't expecting to, but if we did, you have to plan for every scenario. So if we took out this low, I would basically make a decision whether to close it or not. And, even if I closed out the long somewhere down here, it still would have been less than a 1% loss on my trading account, which is, what I normally do for stop losses. I normally risk 1% of my trading account. And really the reason I took this trade, number one, was because the first thing I saw when I woke up this morning was CryptoFace saying he was starting to look for a long position. Or, let me see if I can find his exact words. He said, might fire off a little starting long entry. And that was around 5:30 in the morning. So he was looking at Bitcoin right about here. And so the first thing I saw in the morning was that. And I don't like to make trading decisions as soon as I wake up. That has been something that's come back to bite me a few times, where basically I wake up and just decide to fire off a trade because, maybe price is at a level, but I don't have time to do proper analysis on it to really plan out my idea. I just kind of take the trade, and that's come back to bite me a few times. So I try to stay away from that. So I woke up, I got my morning coffee, and then I sat down in the charts and I was like, okay, what is CryptoFace seeing here? And if for some reason you don't know who I'm talking about, CryptoFace is the creator of Market Cipher. He created this indicator. He does have his own YouTube channel. He streams on there a lot. And also, when you buy Market Cipher, you get access to his Discord, where he'll post his analysis in there. His brother does analysis as well, and it's very good analysis, I think. Especially for macro, they really nail a lot of things. They nailed the top back in May, so I definitely don't take their words lightly, especially when it comes to looking at Market Cipher and looking at money flow. And so when I started doing my analysis, basically just running through looking at Market Cipher, trying to see what CryptoFace was seeing, I usually start on the 4-hour, and I'll go to the 1-hour. I'll look at these 4 time frames for like the higher term time frames, and then I'll pretty much go down from there, looking at the midterm and the low time frames. But, the first thing I saw on the 4-hour was that we are pretty oversold. We were printing a bottom here, and money flow is looking pretty decent. We have gotten back in the green here. Money flow is actually making higher highs in the green right now, which is a little odd to see considering, as this money flow is kind of increasing here, price has been moving downwards. And so momentum being oversold, the money flow, over time creeping up here, and at the time it was starting to curve to the upside. I want to say when I was looking at it, it was somewhere around here. It was making higher highs, and potentially looking like the 4-hour was bottoming out. The 2-hour, similar thing with momentum, very oversold. Money flow was in the red, and at the time it was starting to curve back up here. So, not looking too bullish on the 2-hour. At least just looking at this, money flow came down a lot, but overall, momentum has come up from these lows, and money flow has come up a significant amount from those lows. And when you go down to the 1 hour, you start to see that momentum really get a turn to the upside very aggressively. Start pushing to the upside. Money flow was curving back to the upside, and by curving, I mean it kind of started off moving up slow and then started moving up more aggressively here. So you see that inward curve kind of showing that the move up in money flow is getting more aggressive. And the 24-minute time frame, you saw momentum doing that same thing, basically inward curve, showing that the move up with momentum is getting more aggressive. The money flow was trending up nicely, and even right here we saw an aggressive turn to the upside with money flow. So I definitely understood where he was coming from, because momentum and money flow were starting to aggressively turn to the upside. So like I said, I definitely didn't bet the farm on this trade. It was a relatively low risk. And I was, when I first entered it, I was thinking that I would get a starting entry and then try and add more in if we came down to a significant level like the golden pocket or like this support resistance level. Also, another reason I took this trade, don't want to forget this, is because we were at a key level. We were at this support resistance flip that I talked about in my last video, and we had, seemingly found somewhat of a bottom here. This was also the 0.786 fib, so there was some decent confluence there. And overall, that was the first trade I took in the morning. Basically, my target for this is the value area high up here. In terms of risk reward, it's only like a 2-to-1. But like I said, I was looking to add more to it. However, I didn't do that. I just ended up taking a scalp long down here, a completely different trade. And that one ended up being a much better trade. And right now, price has just come up to grab this liquidity up here. Let's see if we saw a large decrease of open interest. We did. It was not massive, though. We saw a much larger decrease on this first move to the upside. Is my pen tool not working? Okay, there we go. So yeah, this is a significant decrease of open interest, and since then we've seen shorts open, longs and shorts, but mostly shorts because CVD is trending down. Let's see, do we see any divergences? 12-minute money flow getting thicker, 6-minute money flow getting thicker. There are low time frame divergences, but I'm not seeing anything that gives me a lot of confidence in this. So what I might do is I might mark out this high again, see if we get another run on those shorts, and maybe that will be a trade idea. But for right now, I want to use the bar replay tool and go back and look at these two trades in real time. So I started doing my TA probably around 8 o'clock. We'll go to right about there. And the context that I was looking to trade was this range. A lot of times after price gets a significant impulse to the downside or upside, you will see that price ranges for a while afterwards. And this is where I prefer to trade. I prefer to trade the ranges afterwards, just because it can provide, in my experience, the most trade opportunities. You saw the same thing here. We got a large impulse to the downside, then we began ranging afterwards. So I was basically looking to trade this range that we had formed down here, and I was, off the bat interested in shorts from the highs and longs from the lows. And high and low is basically established by looking at the value area high and the value area low of the range. And this up here was a trade setup that I was looking at last night. I was looking just at this 786 in general. Also, shout out White Phoenix, because he basically marked out this area of what he calls supply. A lot of people trade order blocks. White Phoenix is a lot better at establishing areas of supply and demand. basically taking order blocks to the next level. And so he had his supply marked out like this. And, the 786 was lining up right where he had drawn this box. I'm not going to go into too much detail about how he established this box. If you really want to know, you can learn from him and watch his streams by joining the Jason Casper VIP Discord. That is how I am learning from him. So, it is behind a paywall. So if you're really interested, then you can join that Discord. But this was a zone I was looking for shorts, and we, since last night had come up to SFP this high up here, we had another wick up here that I could look at for a potential SFP into this key zone, and so that was trade idea number one. And I did, want to try and hedge myself since I, entered a long with, validation being all the way down at the lows. I would have preferred to get into some kind of short in this range to hedge in case we did come down for those lows. Then, I probably wouldn't be in a loss considering I would have, taken a 1% risk with this and potentially made if I partially TP'd, maybe 2% on my account. So that would have covered my losses. And, I was basically looking to hedge. And I was also looking for, a potential long position from the value area low because we did have a fresh golden pocket here. Since we took out this high, we had a new golden pocket to look at. And that one was, at the time, lining up around the value area low. And basically, I would have looked for some kind of confirmation here. Either like an SFP of this wick into the golden pocket and look for confirmations for that, or some kind of local confirmation, like maybe a local SFP, come down, put in a low, and then SFP that low. Maybe then look for a break of structure, maybe then look for a retest. There's a lot of different ways you can look for confirmations, but basically I was looking for confirmations around the lows and the highs of the range. So let's go to a lower time frame and let this play out a little bit. And the first thing that happened was we got a move above the value area high. We, pretty much came right up to that area I was watching. We got a little rejection off the 786. And going back to take a look at Coinalyze, we saw a pretty large decrease of open interest right here as well. So trades were getting stopped out. And we saw a sharp reaction off of that level. If I let this play out a little bit more, price came down pretty quickly. And I want to say I entered, pretty much as soon as we started to fall back down below this high. I didn't wait for closes because we had rejected off of, the key level I was looking for. And market Cipher was basically agreeing with the short. We saw divergences with momentum and money flow. We can check a lower time frame and see that we also saw divergences there. The low time frame money flow really starting to bleed out as we came up for this high. The 1 minute was looking very weak. Money flow just peaked back into the green and then started falling back into the red. So, overall I had enough confidence to take a more aggressive entry on this. So I want to say I entered sometime during this little bounce back up. And my trading plan for this was pretty simple. I was looking to trade the range. Since we saw divergences outside the value area high, I figured it was likely that we would see a move to the point of control and potentially even the value area low. So I set TPs, number one, at that point of control, and number two, down by the value area low. So if we let price action play out from here, we very quickly got that move down to the point of control. I hit TP1, and after my TP1, basically what I did was I set my stop above the 886. It was right around my entry, but I was also watching market structure, and basically if we saw a 2-minute break in structure here, then I would consider closing this trade. And looking at 2-minute structure, the last lower high was, right here. I guess you can say this was the low, this was the high. It was a little weird here because we got this SFP after making a lower low, SFP, and then another lower low. So it was a little weird, but what I kind of wanted to see here was a lower high and a lower low put in. So then we could have a 2-minute market structure point that is lower, giving us a break of structure quicker, and that is basically what we got. We put in this lower high here, and then came down for a lower low. And what this also did was it provided the possibility for a local trade setup. Basically, we could have SFP'd this low, got to move into the value area low, which if we adjust this, I guess it's adjusting on its own, which is nice. So yeah, now the value area low is right about here. It was originally a little bit lower, but it moved up, so I moved my TP up. So we hit that TP2, and we started to see signs of an SFP of this low into the value area low, which, you know, again, was a potential trade setup I was looking for. I was looking for some sort of confirmation at the low of the range. An SFP into the value area low is, definitely a reasonable confirmation for me. So I think I waited for a 6-minute close above that low, even though it was a low time frame one. The 6-minute and the 3-minute closed at the same time. So, I was watching that 6-minute time frame. Once we got that close right above the high, we came back down a little bit. And I was looking at Coinalyze during this time. I can actually go back and let's see what I was looking at here. So once price came up here and started getting this retracement, that is when we started seeing a lot of people start opening longs, which shows that maybe people want to push this to the upside. People are trading this SFP, and we saw confirmations for this SFP. We saw some trades getting stopped out here. We saw more trades getting stopped out at these lows over here, and then people started opening longs. Once I saw that, that is basically where I decided to enter the long. And, you can see my entry isn't the best, but we pretty much immediately got a massive move to the upside. But my TPs for my long were as follows. The first one was up above this 2-minute market structure point. So this was the new lower high that I was looking at on the 2-minute. First TP above that 2-minute market structure point. Since my entry was basically at the point of control, I was a little late to this. I set my first TP at, the first reasonable spot, the 2-minute market structure point, and TP2 went at the value area high, and we very quickly hit both of those. I, locked in a profit on this trade pretty quickly, and, from there, we continued pumping up, and I had more TPs set higher, one above this high, and I took some more profits up above this 15-minute market structure point. Now, I am still holding this long, and I'm holding the other long I entered, because on the 15-minute, we did break structure here. We broke the last lower high, and we closed above it. We got, many candle closes up above here. This is a clear break in structure. So what one may expect here is that a 15-minute uptrend may begin here. Maybe we come back for a higher low before getting a move up. Maybe we just, continue pumping from here. But right now, this is the first 15-minute break in market structure that we have seen since these highs up here. So yeah, that basically brings us to where we're at now. Overall, I'd say in the short term, my bias is now definitely bullish, considering market cipher money flow, considering the 15-minute break in market structure, and on the higher time frames, we have gotten back above the point of control. We basically did what I wanted to see, come down to this support resistance flip, get back above the point of control, and if we can hold support here or get a significant bounce or move away from the point of control, then I think it is likely that we get a move to the value area high. That's basically what I was looking at on the larger time frames in my last video. And considering all the things I just talked about, I think it is pretty likely that we will see that move to the value area high, maybe soon. And so this value area high up here is still the main area I'm interested in at this point. The golden pocket is now lining up pretty much perfectly with that value area high. And we do still have single prints up here that we need to fill. Yeah, we do have an untapped daily up here as well. This daily open is now an untapped daily. And yeah, other than that, I mean, I'm not super interested in any other levels in between the value area high and the point of control. If I'm going to be trading anything here, it's going to be, on a lower time frame. Maybe if we start ranging after this pump to the upside, or the lows of the range. If we see a significant move to the downside, then the next area I'm going to be interested in is basically the lows of the range. Maybe coming for some of this liquidity. And tomorrow is the FOMC meetings, so we can expect some volatility tomorrow. So I might be looking to position myself for that. If we see a move up to here and we start, seeing signs of a potential top being put in, then I may look to, try and get in a short position ahead of the FOMC to try and hedge myself. If I'm still in a long from down here and I'm in a short from up here, then I can just kind of sit back and watch the Darth Maul candles. I really don't like trying to enter positions during the volatility, during those, FOMC meetings, because, by the time you see your confirmations, by the time you're confident in a trade, price has already moved down 2%. So ideally, I'd like to position myself ahead of time if I can. And yeah, other than that, if we start getting a move back to the downside now, I am potentially looking for a higher low to be put in on this 15-minute structure. So even if we come all the way back down to here, even if we retest this, support resistance level, as long as we don't take out this low, then we could expect a higher low on the 15-minute and then a higher high. So locally, that's kind of what I'm looking at. Other than that, I'm looking at the larger range levels. And yeah, I think that is about it for this video. So thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. Really appreciate the support, and I'll see you all in the next video.